Hello everyone. Welcome back to Grounded Roots Healing. My name is Jason and I am an alchemist. That is the very first time I've ever used that descriptor for myself. And traditionally, I've been very hesitant to use any labels for myself at all. Identifying with labels is very often a trap, and it tends to lead us to identify with this form that we're inhabiting. And that, of course, leads to identification with the ego. And identification with the ego is the crux of every issue we have trying to inhabit these bodies on this planet. Excuse me. Confirmation burp. But recently, I've been getting downloads from my higher self, from God, whatever you'd like to call it, that is the role that I'm to play here in the future. Now, what is a alchemist or an alchemist? Essentially, it's a specialist it's a person, this is difficult. It's a spirit inhabiting an avatar or a body that is specialized in transmutation of energy. Turning low vibrational energy into high vibrational energy. That's essentially what we do. And it's been a wonderful, eye-opening ride this past, over a year now. And, I've worn many hats in my life. Even on the spiritual journey, I've tested out different ones, like shaman, like hypnotist, spiritual teacher, etc. And I have been learning nothing but about spiritual topics for the past over a year. It has become my obsession after coming to the realization that there is nothing else, that all of this existence that we associate with this body is a play. So yesterday I went to breathwork seminar, and as I've said before, I usually dread this, or at least I used to, because it's extremely effective and we end up releasing lots of old energy that's stored in our bodies, alchemizing it, dealing with stored trauma, processing it and releasing it, transmuting it, using my heart chakra. This is what I've been doing since I awoken. And it was no different yesterday. The difference between most breathwork seminars and what happened yesterday was that I didn't dread it. I was actually excited to go. I knew I was going to dredge up some old energy, but for the first time, I was excited to get rid of more of this old stuff. I didn't hold back at all. I let whatever had to come up, and I let it out, and which was more childhood, inner child healing work. So the realization that I'm an alchemist came last night. at this seminar, this session, I should say, I explained what was coming up, the energy, to the practitioner, Jillian, and I stated to her that I saw her light, that I saw the light that she brought to these sessions, and that how important it was, because her just being herself and spreading her light and holding these sessions was triggering the awakening of other people. It was triggering the healing of other people. Slowly but surely, her light, or her candle, was lighting the candles of everybody else around her, including myself. These sessions have been absolutely integral to my healing process this year, along with many other things that I've learned. So in the church, they call that an acolyte or server. They go around and they use their candle to light the candles of other people. Now, you can see the potential of this. If one person awakens a dozen other people, and those other people start to wake up and trigger the awakening of other people, there becomes a cascading effect. Now, I've had people light my fire, let's say, this past year. I've had a lot of help. And I've finally reached the point where my light is burning bright enough where I can start increasing the amount of candles I light. So that's absolutely what this channel has been. It has been me expressing my healing and growth story in video format to as many people as I can, hopefully triggering awakenings in some of you, which will in turn trigger the awakening of the people around you. This is how it works. Once your light turns on, everyone around you, they have to wake up too, or else they have to leave your situation. This is alchemy. This is what an alchemist does. Now, the difference, well, the only difference between me and anyone else is that I understand how this is going to go. As in, I understand how this awakening process is going to proceed for the entire population of this planet. And it's happening in waves. So my wave of awakening was strategic. Nothing is an accident. There are many like me, not exactly like me, but there are many in this wave of people who have woken up to what's going on around us, started the awakening journey, and spent the last year to 10 years healing ourselves and learning. And that is in preparation for the next wave, which is coming very soon, if it hasn't already begun. The next wave of individuals, which will be in the millions, are awakening now or have started awakening recently. And they need someone to walk them through this. This is my role. The method that I use to, say, affect change in as many people as possible, well, that's debatable. Perhaps it's YouTube, perhaps it's a coaching service, perhaps it's, who knows? And it's irrelevant. That will come to me with time. But I know that that is the role that I'm supposed to play in this. I know it with every fiber of my being now. It's been given to me as clear as day. So I told Amanda, I think I'm an alchemist. And she said, oh, duh. Duh. Like, how could you not see this? And frankly, it's clear as day now. But when you're in this, You have something that's called cognitive dissonance, and you can't see what's right in front of your face because it's supposed to be a surprise. It might not be a surprise to everybody around you, but it is to you when you finally figure it out. So I know this is my role. Now, what does an alchemist do? What is particular about an alchemist archetype? Because we all have archetypes. Some of us are just here to spread light. And just be yourself, and then to raise your light as high as possible so that the people around you, like I said, can fill themselves off your cup, can use your light to enlighten themselves. The difference between me and a lot of people, or what an alchemist will be responsible for, is going into the deep, dark holes. So we are balanced, let's say. We get to go into these deep, dark, evil places and transmute that energy. And in order for me to help anyone who's been through this deep, dark stuff, which is a lot of us, I need to have had experienced it myself. I have had to go through the experiences. I had to learn how to heal them. And I had to learn how to be whole again, all by myself, so that I can show others the path. That is my only role. That's it. That is how I heal. There are probably other ways that I'll be able to heal as the vibration of the planet starts to raise. There will be other abilities that get turned on in all of us. And I'm excited for those. It'll make this a lot easier. And I do have a good inkling of what those are going to be, but I will withhold my... we'll see, right? But for now, there are absolutely millions of you who have just woken up. Just in the past month, maybe. You have no idea what's going on. You're lost. You're terrified. I know exactly what you're going through. And the first thing that you need to do, the very first concept before anything else, is you need to understand that the thoughts and the feelings, that even the good ones sometimes, that pop into your head are not you. You're not crazy. These are not you, and they are not your friends. They're not here to help you. They're here to do quite the opposite. Now, we can discuss the details of all of this stuff and how I know it and all of that. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you understand you are not crazy, and that these voices, these thoughts, these intrusive thoughts, they are not you, and they are not your friend. There are ways to defend yourself against these. The white pyramid of light is the absolute number one defense. Sage, Palo Santo, energetic bubbles. Look it up on the internet. Look up the ways to defend yourself against low vibrational entities, monitoring spirits, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't matter. There are ways to shut these off. And the main key is to realize they are not you. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't know what you're doing yet. But it will become clear, and don't panic. The next most important thing you can do is to drink water. Now, it's a little more complicated than that. What you want to do is have non-fluorinated water as filtered as possible, if not natural spring water, out of a glass or stainless steel container, and you want to learn how to put positive energy into that. There are scientific studies. You can go back and look if you'd like. I've done videos on this previously, but explaining the science behind it. But this is the most important thing, because as you start to awaken, your vibration is going to go higher, because that is what's happening in the first place. And you're going to start dumping things out of your physical body, and you need to replace them. They'll be dumped mainly through fluid expulsion, and you need to start replacing it with higher energy water. So go back and watch my video on water, and you'll see what you can do in that regard. And the final thing, the third thing, I would say, not the final at all. There's hundreds of things, but let's keep this small and simple to start. Number one, whatever you want to call it, you're not crazy. Those intrusive thoughts, those bad thoughts are not you, and they're not your friend. Learn how to defend yourself. Two, water, lots of it. Learn how to filter it, clean it, and raise the energy of it. And 3, grounding. We'll stop with that today, but grounding is top priority. Get your feet on the ground if possible. This is very, very important. This is how we reestablish our connection to the planet, and it will absolutely help. If it's too difficult or too cold or too whatever, get yourself a small grounding mat and use it as much as possible. We actually sleep with these in our bed with our feet on them. And showers and baths are also extremely grounding. So use those as well. So that'd be my top 3 things to do when you first awaken. And that will absolutely help you, immediately help you feel better. If you do those 3 things, you're off to a good start, and it will absolutely alleviate some of this, fear that you're experiencing right now. So I think I'll leave it there for today. I'm going to continue doing this. I will list, the next 3 things in the next video, and I will keep going down until I run out of things to say, which will take a long time. And I'm going to be thinking about ways to expand my reach and see what I can do. So I think I'll leave it there. Like I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.